So before I get started on today's project, I just want to show you a recap of yesterday's project. I added some buttons to each of my cards. So I'm just showing you how I hand sewed a few buttons on, and then I just collaged just a tiny bit over the back just to cover where the stitches were. So today is day 27 and the prompt was a photograph or image. I decided, because I couldn't think of any photographs I wanted to use, so I decided to go for some images, which I'll show you in a minute. But the project that I'm doing today is I wanted to make a larger envelope out of a file folder. Now the other day I made some smaller sort of long envelopes out of a file folder, so this is a similar concept, but it's pretty much big enough to fit a postcard in, so like the kind of cards that I did yesterday. So I've simply cut down a piece of file folder. This is not a dyed one because I'm going to completely cover it, so I wasn't worried about it being tea dyed. And it is 6 inches wide by 10 inches long, and then I've just approximated where I wanted the folds to be. And I want the top flap to overlap the bottom flap. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to collage some papers over the top of it to give it a background. For a little while I've been wanting to use some of the fairy images out of the book, and I'm just grabbing it. It's called The Complete Book of Flower Fairies. Is it Cicely Mary Barker? It's, you know, it's a really those really famous images from 1923. I remember I had one of these books when I was young, and I've got the big one of all her fairy images, which is a second-hand one I found in an op shop from an old library. Very well borrowed out because it was very worn, and it was $3. And I really love all the images, and it just reminds me of the book I had when I was little. So I love zinnia flowers, and I love pink. So the first image that I've put on the back is the Z for zinnia, the zinnia fairy. And then I've got a couple more images that I'm going to fit on the front. Now I've got another one, this little girl here. I can't remember which flower she's with. What flower is that? I don't know. Anyway, she's kind of a pale pinky purple, so that goes along nicely. And then I've got a black and white illustration from one of the stories at the back. So this is what my project today is based on, the flower fairy images, rather than photographs today, because I couldn't think of what photograph I wanted to use. So I'll just go ahead and collage them onto my envelope. So I finished collaging my envelope, and now I just want to hand stitch some buttons on. So you can see I've got some vintagey styles of buttons there in sort of pearl and pink and a purple one, just to match the colours of the fairies. Again, I've collaged over the top of them so you can't see the stitching. Just a little bit of stamping on the inside just to make it look a bit more interesting. And then I will also tie some baker's twine onto the larger button so that you can wrap it around the folder to keep it closed. So now the buttons are all stitched on, and the final thing I'm going to do is just tie some baker's twine around that large button so that it can be wrapped around the envelope to keep it closed. My little envelope's finished. It was very easy to make, quite quick as well. I hope you like what I've done today, and I will see you again for tomorrow, which is day 28, I think. Okay, bye.